Today in the Daily Dose, Laika, the first canine in space.
NBC News presents a special report on the Russian launching of a second Earth satellite. And now to guide this report here in New York is NBC News commentator Merrill Muller.
Good afternoon. A dog knocked a goat right out of the world's attention today. In a masterpiece of propaganda timing, the Soviet Union announced it had launched Sputnik number 2, carrying a live dog. This is reportedly history's first space traveler.
Laika the dog, the commander of Sputnik 2, grew up on the streets of Moscow, possessing little vision about being the first living creature in space. Chosen for her ability to withstand centrifugal G-forces and a superior aptitude for sitting, eating, and going to the bathroom in a confined space, Laika would soon be the first living creature to be launched into space. After the historic and quite polarizing launch of Sputnik 1, which instantly ignited the Cold War space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, Russian leader Nikita Khrushchev ordered a second triumphant spaceflight to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution. Khrushchev's order left Soviet scientists with less than a month to accomplish the feat. On November 3, 1957, Laika the dog would become the first living being ever to be launched into space. On launch day, telemetric sensors recorded a threefold increase in Laika's heart rate, while the G-forces during liftoff caused the animal's respiratory rate to increase fivefold. Once in space, Laika's breathing and heart rate grew slower and deeper, despite the deteriorating conditions inside the tiny capsule. While the Soviet space program learned much about mammalian physiology in space, Sputnik 2 was so hastily assembled that the program had no plan to safely return Laika to Earth. By Laika's second orbit, a gross miscalculation in thermodynamics caused the space capsule to become increasingly overheated. By the fourth orbit, some 5 hours into the flight, Laika's telemetrics went silent, ending the life of the first living being in space. 4 years later, Yuri Gagarin accelerated the Soviets' lead in the space race when the cosmonaut orbited the Earth for 108 minutes before parachuting from his capsule after re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. And there you have it, the first canine in space. Today in the Daily Dose. Get your nerd on with the Daily Dose. And if you enjoyed today's episode, share the link with a friend or colleague so that they too can learn something new every day.